Alright, this video is Beware the Scare. I know a lot of single mothers. They give me a sob story and I go help them out. I don't need the sob story. I truly, in many of those cases, don't give two shits about the single mother. I care about the kids. See, it's not the single mother who is to blame, is it? It's the man. It's always the man. That's what our society's bias teaches. However, Miss Jerry, I rescued her from multiple abusive men. She kept the same 3 men on rotation for about 6 years. This one's abusive, so I have to move back in with this one. She said she did it all herself. She didn't. I'm a single mom. I did it all by myself. No, you didn't. You mooched off of men with jobs, with good paying jobs. Meanwhile, you uproot these men, tell them that you love them, and then when they're uprooted and spend everything trying to appease you, then you throw them away when you get bored, or because you want to try something different and go hoeing out for a few weeks. That's why I don't date. One of the reasons. One of the many reasons. Now, also with autism, I really need a woman to tell me straight up what it is that she wants. But we don't teach that in American society. We teach a woman that she is to manipulate. And that's how things are done. I know a lot of women who are professional college students. Now, I watched a video, a man was talking about why you shouldn't date a single mom. And he talked about how stupid they are. No, they get all sorts of free shit. And believe it or not, going to college is a whole shit ton easier than going to get a job. Because this is government money that you're getting. As long as you go to school, well, you get that. And if you miss a few days of school, it's fine. You can go out and have a party day. I know so many women who, they dated exclusively assholes. Exclusively. There's a woman in Florida. Now, she used to live in Boulder. Now, this woman is important because of her story. She ran around having sex with every asshole that I know. And then, one day, she was running around hitting on every single decent guy that I know. She's never been into decent guys. One of those guys was me. And it sent off, like, alright, this is really weird. I am glad this woman's paying me attention. You know, women don't do this to me. So she asked me out on a date. I'm like, oh my god, a woman asked me out on a date. Yes. 2 hours later, a friend of mine come up. He's like, yeah, dude, I'm going out on a date with this chick. Oh! Red flag, she's pregnant. I told her, dude, she's probably pregnant. He's like, no, dude, she hasn't been with anybody for like 6 months. And I'm thinking to myself, alright, she was with Alaska just 2 days ago. And I told him that. He's like, no, dude, you're lying to me. That's called denial. So, yeah, it turns out this young woman, 2 weeks after they started dating, was pregnant. Oh my god! Who didn't see that coming? And that's the thing here, is that we teach many women to be manipulative. And then we teach them, oh, well, the dad is a sleazy piece of shit. He's a fucking pig. Well, with all due respect, you were the one who couldn't control your urges enough to do the intelligent thing and use a condom. That's the man's responsibility. No, it's not. How is it the man's responsibility to use a condom? It's both of you having sex. If he wants to get it on, tell him to use a condom. Don't expect society to pay for your everything, and don't hold your child up, alright, that child is not your shield. Well, then again, that child is. You can't do that to me, I'm a mom. Now, let me tell you something about most of these single moms. Most of these single moms, from Rachel to Rebecca to Jamie to Angela to Jerry to Lana, they all do the same shit. It's all the same game. How to get free shit. See, Lana, she's disabled. She gets free money. Her daughter lives with her. Doesn't really do anything. But she gets $11 an hour for being her mother's caretaker. Plus, they get money for having kids. Imagine that. They talk trash about how terrible the fathers are. No, you ran the fathers off. One of the fathers, his name is Nathan, apparently, and he was trying to be a father. Amanda outright refused to allow him to be the father. She just wants money from him. No, you need to stay at a distance. You can't see your kid. I'm going to play head games until you go away. On the bright side, she does take care of her daughter. She's actually there to take care of her daughter. She's a stay-at-home mother. She gets paid to be a stay-at-home mother. But then there's a lot of women that I know who aren't single. They're not. They claim being single so they can get free shit. And then I get to hear about how all of these mothers are doing it by themselves. No, most of the welfare that isn't going to farmers and big companies is going to single mothers. Over 70%. And of that additional 30%, most of that goes to veterans. So, why is it that I am speaking out on this right now? Well, it's because it's one of the issues that I have been having with our rape society. See, if you want to get that free money, but the dad is willing to contribute, well, the dad is probably not going to contribute as much in money and benefits as you're going to get out of being a single mother. Many of the single mothers that I know will bounce from one man to another. That's where patterns differ between men and women. A man, when he breaks up, he generally gets rid of her and is single for a good long while because she trashed his head. A woman typically starts dating another man before she breaks up with the first one. Dating, like we're boyfriend and girlfriend. Oh, well, my current boyfriend, we broke up, but I still live with him, and now it's time to move out. No, that's not how it went down. Not in most cases. So it's a sympathy plea. Why do I fall for this sympathy plea? I really don't. I care about the kids. I care about them not ending up in the system. Because believe it or not, being with a fucked up mother like that is actually better than being in the system. How do I know? I grew up in the system. My parents were both on cocaine at the time. They couldn't get off of it. Why did my parents have kids? Because they're self-indulgent and greedy. They're both manipulators. Both of them. They're very good at it. My dad is a dominant type manipulator, where my mom is the woe-is me type of manipulator. My mom can't win an argument against me because she's not intelligent enough. Very few people are. That's why they have to resort to name-calling and shaming. And I do the same thing back now. I will shame and berate and name-call. Because that's all you understand. My mom, she got to the point where she hates losing an argument so badly that every time that she'd start losing an argument and realize that she could not win, she'd fucking shit herself intentionally. Look what you made me do! I have irritable bowel syndrome! Lady, you pushed and grunted for 5 minutes. Nobody's dumb enough to believe that shit. They could smell it, though. This woman is mentally ill. Her and my father had major issues because my mother was not faithful, but neither was my dad. And, that's something that's important to note, too. You can't go blaming every single thing in your life on men and then get pissed off when they retaliate by saying, hey, you're a cheating ass hoe. I know so many guys that they were raising children that weren't theirs. They thought that they were a father and end up being a single father, only to find out later that kid's not theirs. And what's the mother doing? Well, she broke up with you after dumping the kids off on you so that she could go have sex with the same dudes that she had sex with before you two hooked up. The ones who have the drugs. Angela can't stay off the drugs. It's sad. But then there's the lonely thing. A lot of women, when they break up, see, here's another difference between men and women, statistically. A lot of women, when they break up with a man, they will whine and pine about being lonely for a week to 2 weeks until a dude picks them up, and then they're all happy. All these dudes that they whine to about how lonely they are, they pick single dudes to do this to for a reason. They want to get picked up. A dude like me isn't going to pick him up. I'll help you, but I'm not going to pick you up. I'll tell you exactly what it is that I'm after. And if I love you, I love you. But that's not in love. Jamie broke me of that shit. Why? Well, because she said that she believes if a man has sex with a woman while she's drunk, that he's taking advantage of her and he is a rapist. So then she made half of Chapel, Nebraska rapists by her own definition. Literally half of Chapel, Nebraska? No, she has a dating range. The oldest person she dated was 58. And she was 21 at the time. Almost 21. Now, there are a lot of issues that I have with this system that blames men for every single mistake that a woman makes. I also have a problem with a system that caters to women who are ungrateful for it and pampered. And there are so many ways to hop through loopholes. Like, I won't get married, I don't believe in marriage. That's because you can't get free shit if you're married. You get a tax break, but that's nothing compared to having a man who's working and paying all of that money, and you're getting the free SNAP benefits, and you're getting government subsidized housing, and the list goes on. There are 14 services in Boulder for single mothers, for single women, for every service that there is for just the homeless. That's co-ed homeless. So we have a system that's entirely built on stupidity. See, it's a man's fault, always a man's fault, that he couldn't hold his urges in. Meanwhile, what about the woman? And then there's the whole thing where you run into situations like with Ogre and Cardboard. That's Christopher Weaver and Lexi Delgado. Lexi Delgado is a fucking Fruit Loop. She is nuttier than fucking squirrel turds. She went over to Ogre's when she wasn't supposed to be around Ogre, that's Christopher Weaver, or her daughter, because she's abusive. She's a fucking mental case. Literal mental case. So she tried to attack me sexually and ended up breaking my computer in the process, and I had to beg Ogre for help. Ogre, help! Help! He was outside having a cigarette. He came in. She was mounted on top of me. Yeah, that wasn't a positive situation. Well, then, she wants a back massage and takes off her shirt and wants me to give them some private time. So I do, but I got nowhere to go because I'm the babysitter. So I'm outside, listening to her being sexually aggressive. She just wanted a back massage. No, she wanted sex. So then they had sex, and I can hear it from outside. And I can hear that she is the one who is asking for it, literally asking for it. So they have sex. Then she goes down to Pearl Street and starts saying he's a rapist. Whoa! Hold on, ho! That is not acceptable. That is not what you do. You do not use rape as a control issue. If a man rapes you, that is not a joking matter. If a man did not rape you, you don't use that as a tool of destruction. You're the one who fucked up, Lexi. You are the one who fucked up. You're the one who decided to get all fucked up, steal your child, and then pass out on somebody's back porch in the snow with a newborn baby. Sorry, I guess the baby was like 3 months old at the time. This is the same woman who, once this baby is able to walk, she steals this baby, who is in a home, a good home, and runs away to Greeley, passes out in a park, and her daughter is running around in the middle of the street. This is why there was a protection order, so that she wasn't allowed to go over there to Ogres. But then again, I can't blame it all on Lexi, because Ogre was dumb enough to let her back in. Do you know why? Because he felt bad for her. He's like, well, you know, my daughter, you know, she really needs a mom, and that's her real mom. I don't believe in keeping a child away from their biological parent. Well, Lexi does believe in keeping the child away from the biological parent. She has shown time and again that using her child as a tool to harm Ogre is something that she is fine and acceptable with. This is something that she believes is okay, and it's not. We need to stop this social bias and pretending like every single mom out there is some sort of fucking victim. No! You got pregnant because you were fucking stupid. You got pregnant because you got drunk and had unprotected sex. Or you were on meth and had unprotected sex. Or you were on heroin and had unprotected sex. Meanwhile, you're the victim because you're an addict. And it's all men's fault that you're an addict. While you were partying and having fun and smiling and making fun of all the ugly dudes. Oh my God, he looks like a rapist. He looks like a child molester. He looks like a predator. And you're the one who's predatory. You got pregnant because you were irresponsible. And then you say, I'm a responsible parent. No, if you were a responsible parent, you wouldn't have gotten knocked up to begin with. And then there's this whole, you need to get a job, you need to get a job, you need to get a job, blaming everything on men, and you treat men differently. Why don't you get a job? I know so many single mothers who are busting their asses at actual jobs. I know so many single mothers who can't get benefits because they earn too much, but it's really not enough for them to make ends meet because a man isn't in their life. But at the same time, this is 2019. For the last 5 years, I have known more single fathers than single mothers. Why is that? Because a man is expected to man up, and he fucking does. Yeah, there are a lot of deadbeat dads out there. A lot of deadbeat moms, too. You know why they call them deadbeats? Because you can beat them to death, and you will still never get your money. This whole hopping across the border, right? You can rape somebody and hop across a border and not get caught. You can beat a woman half to death, hop across a jurisdictional border, and it's fine. But if you don't pay your child support, they can fuck you for the rest of your life. They can come and get you anywhere in the United States for not paying your child support. What does that show you? It shows you that money is more important than safety. Money is more important than protecting the victims. Can his children live with their mother, who is, Well, to be perfectly honest, according to him, she's a meth addict. So why did he send his children to live with a meth addict? Well, first of all, because Ken does drugs too, so does Leah. So it really came down to a matter of the emotions of the children. When Leah's daughter got popped like a balloon by an immigrant driving a pickup that was unlicensed, her blood stain was on the road on those children's route to school. When they walked outside, just walking outside of their house, they could see that stain on the road. And they had to step over their sister's remains on their way to school. That was a daily reminder, and it was traumatizing. At the same time, Lee is a user. And Ken is a decent man. He's stupid, and he'll fuck people over to make Leah happy, including stealing money from disabled people. But he tries to provide for his family. If that means he has to sell drugs, by all means, he will sell drugs, but he keeps his job. He keeps going to work every day at the tire place, filling them up with polyresinal shit. I don't know what exactly it is that he puts in them, but this stuff sets and it makes solid core tires. This is for like forestry service vehicles, things like that. But the thing is, Ken is willing to do a lot of immoral stuff to make Leah happy. I also know a lot of women who tried to pull that whole bullshit with, I've only been with you. There's a woman named Victoria that I knew from Chapel. When I first moved to my mother's house, she had a daughter named Mercedes. Victoria was married to a black man. Both of her kids came out white. She swore up and down that it was just genetics and that she was faithful to her husband, and DNA tests proved that she was a liar. Meanwhile, she talks a lot of shit on this man who, even knowing that she cheated on him, he stayed with her because he loved her. He loves his children. Yeah. Well, one of those children is... two of those children, both of those children, were not raised by Victoria. For a small amount of time at my mother's house, Victoria sort of raised them. But they both ultimately ended up with other family members because she still wanted to go out and do drugs. Now she lives in Las Vegas. Why does she live in Las Vegas? I don't know, and I don't care. We need to stop blaming everything on men. There are so many good men out there raising children that are not theirs, and we need to give them a round of applause too. I'm not out there to rescue every single mother. I'm out to rescue their children. There's a big difference. Now, why didn't I go off on men in this video? I actually did. You should pay attention. I'm saying that it's not just the men who are responsible for it, not just the men who are stupid. And the social bias allows a woman to lie about a man and get away with it. He never gets a day in court. She doesn't have to take him to court. All she has to do is plant one little white lie, thinking that it's okay and it's no big deal. Not having any fucking thought in her head, no conscience whatsoever about how that destroys a man's life, sometimes to the point of suicide. I keep hearing about how men are pigs. Most of the single women that I know, single mothers that I know, are worse pigs than most of the men that I know. And then if a man isn't a bad boy, if he's a decent dude, then he's a pussy, he's boring. And then you go back to the same assholes that got you pregnant to begin with. And all men are pigs because you are addicted to assholes who have drugs. Yeah, no, that's not okay.